My name's Glenn Ochal.
My name's Mead.
I'm Pat Eble.
I graduated Princeton in 2008.
Class of 2017.
I'm class of 2016.
I work for a marketing firm based in Southern California called Roxa.
I'm currently training for the national team and also working for a small tech startup.
I currently row for the senior national team and work at Alpine Investors in San Francisco. Being back in Princeton it's really amazing. Lake Carnegie is by far the best body of water to row on, and the setup that Princeton has is truly perfect. Boathouse on campus, lake on campus, with a full buoyed course, and being here as a member of the national team is great. Just coming back after being here for 4 years, spending so many hours, so many miles out on Carnegie, to come back as part of this team, especially as we're prepping to go over to Bulgaria, it's the ideal setup before we head over, and Lake Carnegie is truly the best place to row.
I mean, it's great. Every time we come back to Princeton, it always feels like home.
It's fantastic. I love coming back here. I know a ton of people here. It's a lot of fun. I first stepped on campus in 2004, so about 14 years ago, and I've spent a lot of time here, not only collegiately, but we were training here with the national team once I graduated, back and forth a few times. So I love coming back to Princeton. I love the lake. I love seeing Greg and Marty and all the coaches. Greg was my freshman coach back before he was the lightweight varsity coach. He was freshman heavyweight coach, and then he came, so he's come full circle. I coached with Marty on a lightweight program for a couple years after I graduated as well. So I love being back here. Lori's obviously one of the best women's coaches in the country. I have so much respect for her, and to come back and see everybody here, that's kind of what makes this boathouse special is all of the unique people that are everybody's working together, at least from my experience. Like everybody in the boathouse is rooting for each other, which is pretty cool.
I think for me right now, the immediate memories it brings back are Wednesday speedwaters and going head to head with all of the guys, and then being able to go back up campus and go to the dining halls or eating clubs and just be able to hang out and talk about the row. I think that's what I really miss about the team. And then it was eliciting memories of my senior year in 2016 at IRAs, when as a team we got second in the 10 Ike and every single boat that we had there medaled. And as a senior, to have everyone go out that way and to have so many boats medal was really special. So that definitely brought back memories there.
Yeah, I think trying to figure out a favorite memory at Princeton is tough. There are all the sort of quintessential moments, like the dual racing season, things on campus like the step sing, arch sing. But I think the moments that you miss the most, having graduated, are just being with the team, your teammates, being with your classmates. I think that's one of the things that drew me to Princeton was on my visit, I noticed all the guys on the team were together the whole day. They were, really close. And I think I miss just being in the dining halls for a couple hours, talking to teammates, getting to know them better, or being out on Carnegie, just some random practice, and you have 4/8 across. Everyone's talking a little trash to each other. The team bonding moments.
Well, I guess the best memory was in 2006. I was in a pretty successful boat. We went undefeated, won the sprints. We got second at nationals at IRAs, which was unfortunate, but just kind of like a really good group of guys who I'm pretty close with and I stay in touch with now. And it's just a lot of fun racing back then. We went to Henley and won Henley, won the head of the Charles that fall. So it was really. I mean, when you're going fast, it's always fun. But those were the guys who kind of taught me, helped me get me to where I am now, if that makes sense. We had guys like Alex Hearn and Sam Locke, who are class of 06. Just when I was a sophomore, I just followed these guys because they had the right work ethic and determination, and they wanted to win. And so it was easy for me to just fall in line with them, learn what I need to do to go fast. And then it was a lot of fun to go fast that year.
It's really twofold. It's the physicality of it. I think that the program is set up to really create a high-level training environment. So from that perspective, Princeton prepared me perfectly to be on the national team, from time spent in the erg room, time spent in the weight room, and especially time spent on the water. And I think that the lessons I learned just rowing side by side and in 1V versus 2V and or 3/8 across and 4/8 across with the coaches and across the team, that it really prepares you well for what's to come in the national team setting. And obviously, being on Carnegie, which is just an amazing setup in itself, it all feeds together to really, I feel like Princeton was a massive stepping stone for me to where I am now.
I think it's a pretty easy transition from Princeton to the national team. Not, the level of the national team is high, and I had to work pretty hard when I was first transitioning. But the training that you do at Princeton is pretty similar. A lot of the workouts you do at Princeton are very similar to the ones you do on the national team. I think part of that is there's a long legacy of Princeton coaches who were working closely with the national team or who went from Princeton to the national team. Mike Tatey was the head coach of the men's team, coached at Princeton for many years. So a lot of the workouts that we do at Princeton are actually the same ones that we're still doing on the national team.
Yeah, so I had kind of a circuitous route to the national team, but ended up spending a year at Cambridge University in the UK where I rowed in the boat race. And I think that also was a nice stepping stone to the national team and where I am now. So I rowed at Cambridge for that year in 2017 and then came back and spent the summer with the national team. So rowed my first senior team 2017 and stroked the 8 that got silver down in Sarasota. And then was actually spent some time in New York, had a job there, and then once the team moved full-time to Oakland, was fortunate enough to move out there with the team and then also get a job at Alpine Investors.
The first time I joined the national team was a week after graduating. So it was a very easy transition for me. And you have all the support of the coaches, guys on the team who you'd rowed with, classmates. So it's always great coming back here, grabbing meals with people who you haven't seen in a while, and then just being back on Carnegie, which is one of the best places to row in the world. It's just really a treat.
Alpine Investors is actually founded by a Princeton rower, Graham Weaver, and I think that leveraging the alumni network is something that Princeton rowing really helped me with. There's so many people that want to help and want to just help guys land on their feet and get through the interview process. And I was fortunate enough to reach out to Graham and get in contact with his firm when I knew I was moving to the West Coast. And he's really set me up perfectly for this cycle where I have the rowing with Mike and then I have the job with Graham, and the two work perfectly together so that I can train and work at the highest level possible. And that wouldn't have been possible without the Princeton education and more importantly, the alumni rowing network. So on a day-to-day, Alpine, it's a private equity firm, and I am helping out as much as I can with Graham and also rowing a bit on the side.
So when I moved out to California for training with the national team, I was a little worried about finding employment out there. I didn't know many people there. And within a month, through 2 Princeton connections, I'd found 2 opportunities for employment. So I was very surprised at how much Princeton alumni are willing to just help out fellow rowers and just students. So one of those jobs was I found through Dave and Beth Coven, who are really awesome alumni who love helping out Princeton rowers and just Princeton people in general. And then the other was from someone who has no connection to rowing. He graduated in 2016 and started his own company out in San Francisco. And that's Darshan. That's who I'm working for right now. So yeah, within a month, I had sort of been put in touch with both Darshan and Dave and Beth Coven. And yeah, it was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. And that's with the help of some great alumni.
Yeah, I've gone a couple different routes. I coached for 3 years here. Immediately following graduation, was the intern year and then the freshman lightweight coach for a couple of years. And then I had to kind of put that aside to focus on training before the London Olympics. And then since then I've been training. I moved to California. I live in California with my wife now, and I worked for a couple of different companies, including the NFL and the marketing departments. And now I work for the kind of the marketing agency called Roxa that I speak of. I guess I've worked for them for about 5-6 years now. It's a pretty smooth transition. I network with a bunch of people out in Southern California with a pretty good group. It's the Princeton Club of Southern California, I think it's called, and it's easy to reach out to these people to ask for help. I kind of was speaking with students from like other schools, and I didn't realize that they didn't have the alumni network that Princeton has, at least like the database and the website that we have. Like, I was like, why don't you just look up whoever you want to look up in this industry and you can go find a job? And they're like, what are you talking about? And like, it took me a while to realize, oh, not everyone kind of has that infrastructure. So like, that's pretty unique for Princeton, and Princeton people are always looking to help each other out. Like if they can't help you get a job at their company, they'll talk to a friend or whatnot. And I think that's what makes Princeton, especially Princeton alumni, pretty special.